Hey my glam girls, welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. So we're doing a try on some of the products that I have picked up during the Sephora sale. Some of these products I picked up actually from the brand's website, but I got new makeup, wanted to try it on and share with you my thoughts. So thank you so much for clicking on my video. If this is your first time here, definitely consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl squad, and let's get right into this video. So I went to the La Mer website and I picked up the Radiant Skin Tint Broad Spectrum SPF 30. So this skin tint is sold at Sephora and today is the last day for the savings event, April 19th. So if you're watching this, you could shop this at Sephora and save a little bit of money. It does retail for $95. It comes in 7 shades and we get 1.4 ounces or 40 milliliters of product. I have the shade Medium Deep 50 and this shade really matches my skin very well. Medium Deep is the second to the last shade, so there's not too many shades in this particular skin tint. But if you can find a shade, so far I have really been enjoying this. So it's a sheer lightweight veil of color that delivers visible radiance and a more even, healthy looking complexion. And I feel like when I do use this, and the couple of times that I've used it, it really did even out my complexion. I have a little acne scar here and I felt like it glazed over it, took away the redness. So obviously you still see the acne scar, but it doesn't look as aggressive on the face. And I do think it's just one of those products that is just beautiful to apply after you put on your skincare, but you want to put a little something on to literally just like dull redness, even out complexion, and give you like an overall radiance without literally feeling the need to apply any more makeup. This is what I thought it was, and I am so here for it. Do you need to spend $95? No, you don't. But I was very interested in it, and I'm really happy that I picked it up because it is doing exactly what I wanted to do. I wore it all day yesterday, and I had it on for more than 8 hours. And at the end of the day, I had a beautiful radiance along on my face, especially in my T-zone. So I do feel like if you have dry skin, you're gonna love this. Dry, normal, you're gonna love it. Combination oily, I think you could still really enjoy this if you are fine with some radiance after like 8 hours of wear. So next I went in with the Clinique Even Better All Over Concealer and Eraser. I have the shade WN80 and this is my second time using it and I really like this. So this retails for $26. It comes in a whopping 42 shades. So a shade and undertone for any and everyone, which is great. And we get 0.2 ounces or 6 milliliters of product. The shade that I have, WN80, is described as tawny beige in its medium warm neutral undertones. I really like how this concealer, first of all, looks in terms of its tone. It's definitely not the most brightening shade for me, but I also don't like overly bright concealers, so I'm fine with the shade for a more kind of everyday natural type of look. It is a lightweight, full coverage concealer that perfects and visibly corrects over time. It's infused with antibacterial technology. And I would agree with that. When I apply it on the face, I don't apply too much so that I don't get too full of a coverage. I can definitely see building up this concealer to get full coverage, but I love the overall natural finish. There's no glossiness under the eye, but it's definitely not looking overly matte and making my under eye look, you know, too dry and drabby. I think that this could be a concealer that you may not have to set. And as I am talking, I just realized I did not set my concealer. Who am I? I literally did not. I've had this concealer on for a good 2 hours. At the time of when I applied eyeshadow, there was no creasing. There's still no creasing. So my suspicion is correct. If you don't have like overly oily skin, this is a concealer that you do not have to set. I love the way this looks under the eye. I think it definitely helps to correct any dark circles that I might have. So obviously I haven't been getting a lot of sleep with the newborn, but I feel like my under eye area looks nice and hydrated and bright. And it doesn't look like I am as tired as I really am. Next, I went in with contour. So I wanted to try out 2 contours, so I put both of them on the face. So first I applied the NARS. This is the Sun Kissed Bronzing Cream, and I have the shade Casino. So this comes in 2 shades. The lighter shade is Laguna, and the deeper shade, which is what I purchased, is Casino. It is going to retail for $38, and Casino is described as a medium browned shade. So it's a limited edition cream to powder bronzing hybrid that gives skin a soft matte finish and sun-kissed warmth. So this particular shade, when swatched on the back of my hand, you can definitely see that it has a warmer tone to it, but it also has somewhat of a neutral tone, which I do really enjoy. Neutral bronzers, love them. They are my favorite type of bronzers to be worn. So when applied to the skin, it applied really nicely. It blended really nicely into the skin. I tapped my brush in the container, and then I did tap it on the back of my hand, so I didn't apply too much at one time. And I do think it blended really nicely into the skin. Blending it on the back of my hand, it blends really nicely as well. It definitely does dry down matte, as you can see on the back of my hand, and it didn't take a long time to dry down. Like, I literally just put it on the back of my hand, blended it out with my finger, and the overall finish is matte, which I really do like, because once again, if you're not a powder person, you don't really want to set your face all the time, this is definitely a cream product that you do not have to set. Then I have the Patrick Ta bronzer, what is this? The Cream Contour Powder Bronzer Duo in the shade called She's Sculpted. So it's the medium shade. So this particular product does come in 3 shades, and like I mentioned, I have the middle shade. It retails for $38, and we get a cream product right here and a powder product. So it says that it's a modern way to sculpt the face. This cream and powder contouring duo will effortlessly shape and define for a beautiful dimensional look. So you're supposed to apply the cream product first and then the powder product over top. So I wanted to use the same brush as I did with the NARS cream bronzer, because I wanted to make sure we had a little bit of consistency. Here is just a swatch of the portion of the Patrick Ta duo, and as you can see, it's definitely lighter in complexion than the NARS cream bronzer, and it's also definitely cooler in tone than the NARS. This did not show up as well as I thought it would. I'm thinking now I should have gotten the deeper shade to show up better on my skin, but I feel like the deeper shade might be too deep. There definitely needs to be a shade in between She's Sculpted and the deeper shade, which is She's Chiseled, because honestly, I'm not attracted to the tone of the deeper shade. I could be wrong, but just off what I see, that is not a shade that I personally would want to wear on my face. So I don't really know if I'm gonna get a lot of use out of this cream portion because it didn't show well on my complexion. I mean, it built up and you could see it, but I would reach for the NARS over the Patrick Ta, just because shade-wise, the NARS showed up better. I think the formula of the cream product is nice. I love the Patrick Ta cream blushes, cream and powder blushes. Those duos are some of my favorites. So I think the formula is beautiful. It's just the shade for me didn't work as well as I thought it would. So for blush, I went in with Tower 28, and I went in with the shade Golden Hour, and I so underestimated these blushes. Okay, so here is what the blush looks like. I'll do a quick swatch for you. First of all, this is so creamy. Like, it's a thick creamy, but like thick creamy in the way that I like it. So here is the shade swatched on the back of my hand. Definitely has some type of emolliency to it, but not overly emollient. So I went in with my Sonia G Base 1 brush, and definitely had to tap some on the back of my hand because it is pigmented. Like, ooh, she's pigmented. Applied it to the cheeks. It applied so pretty on the cheeks. This is definitely a product that if you didn't want to set it, you could just put it on the cheeks and just let it go and let it flow. I did set it later on in the video and you'll see that, but you can still see the blush underneath. And I might have to get more. I picked up 2 shades during the sale, happy hour and this is golden hour. I might need to get some more. You guys were right. Those of you who kept recommending these blushes to me, thank you. Thank you, because I definitely was sleeping really hard on that blush. These blushes retail for $20 and there's 6 shades. I think after that I went on ahead and set the face, and I went in with the La Mer powder foundation. So this has been on my radar for a couple months now at the very least. Took me some time to pull the plug, but I went on ahead and did it. And this is also sold on Sephora's website, so if you wanted to save a couple of coins, you could order it from Sephora if you're watching this on April 19th. So it comes in 12 shades, retails for $125. I have the shade Bronze, and Bronze is the second to the deepest shade, so not a ton of shades either in this particular product. It is a buildable powder foundation with a soft, moisturizing texture for skin enhancing coverage. It does have an SPF of 30, and I did not do a flash test on the skin tint or this. I will do it at another time. I forgot to do it, and I'll report back in another video if there is flashback. Let me show you what the product looks like. I'm just holding it, but I haven't showed you. So this is what it looks like on the inside. I didn't use a sponge applicator because I didn't want too much coverage. I went in with my Sonia G buffer brush, which is right here, which this is the brush that I use with any type of powder foundation or powder product when I just want to more so like buff the powder in without applying too much of it. So that's what I did. I definitely went over the blush as you see in the demonstration, but I didn't want to cover it too much. And I think this looks so pretty on the face. I definitely felt like it blurred my pores a little bit, and the overall finish is just really flawless and beautiful. It is definitely a soft type of finish. I didn't feel like my face looked too powdery. I also didn't feel like my face looked too matte. Like, this is a beautiful foundation, and I knew it would be. So I went in with, I think, powder bronzer. I think that's what I did next. So going back in with the Patrick Ta Duo, and this I felt like just barely showed up. It is so much lighter than I thought it would be. Here's a swatch of the powder bronzer, and then this is the corresponding cream bronzer for the Patrick Ta Duo. And the formula of the powder bronzer, beautiful. It's just too light for me. So like I said, I think for me, I don't know if I'm gonna get the deeper shade of this particular duo. If you're around my complexion and you have the deeper shade and you think I would like it, leave it in the comment section below. I feel like the deeper shade is going to be too deep, and this is too light. So you win some and you lose some. However, I went in with the new Guerlain Terracotta Sun Kiss Natural Bronze Powder. So that retails for $56. It comes in 6 shades, and I have the shade 05, which is the deep warm shade, and this is the deepest shade of this particular bronzer. It is very heavily fragranced, but I like this particular fragrance, so I don't mind it. So when I applied it on this side of the face, it definitely gave me the warmth that I was looking for. I didn't have to use a lot. I went in with the Sonia G, the Face 2 brush, and I loved how it just blended into the skin. So when looking at the two, this is the original terracotta bronzer and this is the new natural bronze. They basically are the same shade. I feel like the newer one is just maybe like a tinge more red than the original one. But then again on my finger, so here's the natural one, yeah. So here's the swatch on my finger. This is the natural, this is the original terracotta one, and this is the new natural one. So they are about the same color. The new natural one might be a little more neutral, and the original one might be a little more red. The natural one is going to be formulated with nourishing argan oil and 96% naturally derived ingredients for a long wear sun-kissed glow. The glow is beautiful. I love this bronzer, but it looks so beautiful on the skin. This is the side that I use the Patrick Ta Bronzer Duo, and you can see a bronze. I mean, it's there, it's just not as prominent. as the girl on side. And if I like to use bronzer, more than likely I want to go for a bronzer that I can manipulate it. So if I want a very, you know, prevalent bronzed look, I can get it. If I want something a little light, I can get it. I would prefer something that I can, you know, build up versus being just kind of overall light no matter what I use. So I really like this side in terms of my bronzer compared to this side. So wanted to play around with the Natasha Denona Circo Loco palette, and I really like this. So, but I started out first with the orange shade called Firework. Then I went in with this hot pink shade called Joker. The mattes in this palette blend effortlessly, like they're so beautiful. Then I went in with this metallic shade called Razzle Dazzle. Went in with the other metallic shade right here called Cannon. And then for the inner corner, I went in with this beautiful shimmer shade called Spiral. It's so pretty. Along the lower lash line, I went back in with both matte shades, Joker and Fireworks, the orange, the hot orange and the hot pink shade. For the inner corner, I wanted to use this purple shimmer called Act right here, just to like add a little bit of another color. And then I went back in with Cannon for the inner corner. And I am very happy with how this eye look came out. It's very bright and vibrant and in your face, but I also feel like you can create looks that you're comfortable with. So if you're not someone who is gonna use all the color, but you kind of want to be challenged to step out of your comfort zone, I think this palette definitely does it. You can get kind of, you know, you can get toned down, I say toned down loosely, looks without them, and still be comfortable. Like to me, I feel like my eye look is definitely colorful, but it's not so crazy that I feel like I can only wear it if I'm going to like a costume party. Like this is an eye look that I would wear out and about. And I got it from this very colorful palette, but I kind of made it my own to where I'm comfortable with it. But if I really wanted to like go all the way there, I really could with the shades that are in this. So I really like this palette. Brows. So I went in with the new Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Brow Cheat, and I have mine in the shade Dark Brown. This is the one that has the very small angled tip, and I like this one. So I bought two brow products. I also bought the Fenty Beauty Brow MVP, and I really like this brow pencil for like quicker brows. If I'm just trying to fill my brows in really quickly, I like the Fenty Beauty Brow MVP. But this Brow Cheat definitely gives me the precision that I sometimes want without taking so long. Like I feel like I can still fill my brows in pretty quickly with this, but I get more of a precise look. Like I actually got a compliment from one of you guys on my brows. Never happens. I was like, oh, never. I usually get people saying, ooh, you need to get your brows done. Okay, so when I got a compliment on my brows, I was like, we might be onto something. And y'all know I love me a good Char girl. I love Charlotte Tilbury. So I'm really happy with this one, with this brow pencil. And I like that I don't have to use so much of the product. Even though the pencil tip is thin, I don't have to use a lot of it to fill in my brows. So I'm very happy with this. And I mean, I do need to get my brows done. I've been in the house for 4 weeks now, but I feel like my brows still look halfway decent, even though they need to get done. This Brow Cheat does retail for $25, and there are 8 shades. I like for my brows to be neutral or cooler. The shade Dark Brown is described as cool neutral undertones for dark brown brows, and I really like the color of this brow pencil as well. So Merit reached out to me and said, hey, we want to send you some products, and I was like, awesome. So they sent pretty much every product that I don't have. I was able to try their Brow 1980 Volumizing Eyebrow Pomade Gel. It comes in 3 shades, and the shade they sent is Black Brown, and it retails for $24. And Black Brown is described as dark brown black with warm undertones. So this is a tinted flexible pomade designed to give you your most face-framing brows yet, shaping and grooming them into place for a natural, bold look. So I didn't realize I wasn't recording, so when you see me applying this pomade, I already applied it on my brows. I just wanted y'all to see it in action. But I applied basically 2 layers. My brows are not crunchy. They've had plenty of time to set. They're not crunchy at all, but they do feel like they're held in place. And I do feel like this particular pomade did like make my brows fluffier and a little fuller compared to how they look after I filled them in with a brow pencil. So here is what the applicator looks like on the brow pomade. And I feel like you don't get a lot right out of the tube, which I like. So when I applied it onto my brows, it wasn't goopy, it wasn't thick, but I could definitely see that product was being dispersed through my brows. And especially when I went in the second time, I didn't feel like I did too much. So I'm interested in trying this when I don't want to fill my brows in. I haven't used it yet just on its own, but I definitely was like pleasantly surprised by this. I was like, okay, was not expecting to like it. I'm not a huge pomade person. I don't use brow gels. Maybe I should, but I just don't. So but I have used them before. I just don't use them all the time. Very happy with this. Happy that I was able to try this. And then I also have the Merit. This is the Clean Lash Lengthening Mascara. It retails for $26. There's only one shade and it's called Perfect Black. And this is an everyday mascara that defines, separates, and lengthens lashes for a wide awake look with no smudging ever. So I would disagree with the smudging, okay? Because I applied it on the lower lash line, and I don't know if I applied too much mascara on the lower lash line, but I definitely had like a little bit of smudging in my inner corner. So I wouldn't say that it's smudge proof. And when I applied it, it just looked like my lashes were just nice and natural. So I don't think this is a mascara that you need to run out and get, especially if you have one that you really like. The mascaras that I like are going to be volumizing and lengthening. So one of my favorites is the Lancome Monsieur Big. Oh, love this one because it gives me volume and lengthens them. I do think this particular mascara did lengthen my lashes, but nothing to like talk about or run home about. So it is a nice everyday mascara, but nothing that I would say like you have to try it. I did apply lashes. I just went in with the Ardell Naked Lashes in the style 421 highlight. So I wanted to try the Westman Atelier highlighter in Brulee, and this is what the shade looks like. This particular shade, I think, is beautiful. This is the shade swatched on my hand. So I applied it with my finger on the high points of the cheeks, and I think it looks really beautiful. It gave me a nice sheen, and I thought the color might have been a little too stark, but it actually wasn't at all. So I applied it on the high points of my cheeks, and I also applied it on the apples of my cheeks, and I think it gave a really beautiful, beautiful glow. This is not one of those cream highlighters that's going to dry down, so I did feel the need to set it. So this retails for $48, comes in 2 shades, so Brulee is the deeper of the shades. Oh no, it comes in 3 shades, I'm sorry. Brulee is the deeper of the shades. It does have a translucent base with a flattering balm formula that imparts skin with fresh, radiant, visible clarity anywhere you choose. So definitely would agree to that. It's not gonna have too much pigment to the color, because like I said initially, I thought it would have been too deep, but it actually works out really nicely. So this Luminous Silk Glow Fusion Powder, I have the shade 7, and it did what I thought it would do. So hold on, flip. So this retails for $64. It comes in 10 shades. The shade 7 is medium to tan with peach undertones. And so this is a long wearing setting powder that provides a flawless, radiant finish. It's a translucent, lightweight pressed powder that transforms into a skin matching veil of sheer coverage that eliminates flashback and doesn't cake or settle into fine lines. So I am gonna have to test this flashback theory. Got a few foundations that give me flashback, so I'm very interested to see if this actually works. So I thought and figured this was gonna be a beautiful glow powder, and it is. I took my Rephr 05 brush, which this brush is currently on sale in the Rephr concept store for $34. Limited stock, maybe sold out by the time this goes up, but wanted to let you know. But I took the Rephr 05 brush and I just lightly dusted it into the pan and dusted it all over the face, and it does leave a beautiful sheen to the face. So there is very slight shimmer and sparkle in the powder, and sparkle is the wrong word. I would say sheen, better word, because there's no actual particles, so I don't want you to think like there's particles in here. Dusted it along the face, and I think it gave such a beautiful glow. Wasn't anything that was overly powdering or anything that would make you feel like I cannot use this to set my face. Now, if you don't like a sheen to your face, this is not the powder for you, but it left such a beautiful glow. I'm so here for this. So then after I did all of that, I think, yes, I still want a little bit more of a highlight. So I went in with the Dior Skin Nude Luminizer in the shade 03. Do you see this glow? I cannot. I just cannot. Like, I'm going to reach for this over and over and over again, and I do see me picking up more in the future. That's all I'm going to say. Then, Wander Beauty sent me a couple of products. So this is going to retail for $28. This is the Wander Beauty Glow Getter Mist, and it is a multitasking illuminating facial mist that hydrates, nourishes, and refreshes. So it has avocado and lavender oil that's going to hydrate and nourish the skin. Glacier water, this is the purest form of water containing minerals that calm and soothe the skin, and tons of fruit extracts, all this other stuff. So when you look at it, you can see that there is oil and water, and the oil and water obviously are separating from the two. So you shake it up really nicely. And when I first saw this, I was like, oh, is this gonna be too oily? Like, I don't know. Shake it up, and then when you spray it, it comes out like a very fine mist. And the mist it is not a heavy mist. Like when you see it in the air, it floats. So it's not a heavy mist. The oils are light. It has a very nice scent to it, not something that's like overly scented, but you know, just due to the oils and fruit extracts, it's a very light scent, and it gives a glow. Like, I'm really happy with this. By now my face has been set for over an hour, and as you can see, my face does not look overly like dewy and oily. It just looks really beautiful and radiant. And I did use a few radiant products, but I also used a few powder products today, and I feel like this is pretty. This is a setting mist, so I'm definitely going to continue using this to see how it prolongs the wear of my makeup. I'm also going to compare it to my Lila B, because y'all know I love the Lila B Glow Face Mist. Like, cannot get enough of that. So we're gonna see how this compares to it, because we might have a little competition. I don't know yet. I don't know. Lastly, for lips, I picked up another Stunna lip paint. This is in the shade Uncuffed. I got this from the Fenty Beauty website because they were having a sale prior to the Sephora savings event. But obviously you can buy all Fenty products at Sephora. Love the Stunna lip paints, like cannot sing their praises enough. So I just wanted to get another shade. But guys, this is the overall look. Really happy with how my face turned out, and just loving this glow. So pretty. And more than the glow, really enjoying the products that I used today. Let me know your thoughts down below with the overall look. Let me know if you have some of these products that you really enjoy. And we've got like 7 hours left of the Sephora sale. What's something I need to pick up? Is there anything else that I need from this sale? You guys let me know in the comment section below. Let me know if you have any of these products and if you like them, or if you don't like them, let me know. And if you made it to this point in the video and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, definitely consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad, because we'd love to have you. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye guys.